Hello. It is 5:35 p.m. Uh, I don't know. I question your freedom, you know? I question your freedom. You know, I always question everything, especially freedom, you know? You're not really free. You're not really free. You think working for a company makes you think you're free? You think working for a company or working for government, working for anything, you believe that's freedom? Yeah, it's funny, you know. Christianity, is funny how Christians are. It's just, I, I don't like Christians. I don't like, to be honest, I don't like all religion. All religion to me is fucking evil. That's being blunt, you know. Look at their history, and they call themselves free, you know. I know religion to me is like you're going into a jail, and you can't do this, you can't do that because it's against your religion and all that bullshit. It's like being in jail. It's like we got business for jail, and then you got religion. That's another type of jail because you only get because of your fucking beliefs. It's like it's so corrupted. Freedom is fucking corrupt with greed. Greed I hate the most. I can't stand greed. I watch it every fucking day. I watch greed every fucking day. It doesn't matter what it is. The bullshit that you have to go through just to fucking get a house, owning a house. There's so much bullshit in owning a house, and there's so much bullshit in owning a car, because you gotta have authorization, you gotta have pre-qualification, you know, by a fucking corporation. Corporation has control, just like government has control. They both have control of everybody's life, and you call that freedom, The credit system. Who invented the credit system? You call that freedom? It's like you're putting somebody on a chain. Say, oh, wait a minute, I got to tug your chain because it's not really, you can't buy it because it's not in your price range. It's like, yeah, all these status bullshit, rich and poor, and what you can't and what you can and when you can't have. Hell, I would love to live in a $500,000 house. I would love to live in a $500,000 house with 2-car garage. But I would love to live. To be honest, I'd rather live in a fucking $150,000 house, $160,000 house with a 2-car garage. Versus a $500,000 house. But it's like it's so fucking stupid that we had to fight. We had to fight everything to get what we want. You have to fight. You gotta have proof, which is really bullshit. It's really, I look at that as it's another form of racism. You know, it's like the corporations. The ones who are privileged can have anything they want to a point, depending on how much privilege they are. But when you're poor, you can't have anything. You don't have no choices when you're poor. You don't have any choice, and your credit score is all fucked up. And you can't, and you have to go. And there's one thing having these these fast loan things out in the fucking street. I go on the street called Ashley Phosphate, and I see these fast loan scams all over the place. You know, where they cash their check, and you give your car title and all that bullshit. It's like you see scammers everywhere. Those are scams. If you see fast loans and you see cash your check, they they charge you outrageous interest in that bullshit. You know, you telling me that's a fucking scam. It's like they feed off your suffering. If you gotta eat, you gotta go to these stupid places to cash your check, which is really fucking ridiculous, and then you got the banks. If you can't afford to have a bank, and the bank only gives you a minimum, you're only allowed a minimum in your bank, like $500-600, and the bank doesn't. It's like the banks itself are more of a scam too themselves, because they all charge the interest and all that bullshit. Yeah, freedom. You call this freedom? You call this fucking? I call it a fucking joke. You're not free. If you're making paycheck to paycheck every fucking day, trying to make ends meet, barely making ends meet, then you're talking. Your system is failing. The system is failing, and you're not taking care of your people. It shows you how fucked up the system, how much a backstabber that these corporations and governments and fucking businesses fucking stab your back, and you have to go through paperwork to get some, you have to go through mountains of paperwork, which is really waste of paper. You're just wasting paper, and it doesn't make any sense at all. Why do you need to go through mountains of paper to prove that you have good, why can't you just give people a fucking house, It shows you how sick our system is. It shows you how greedy the system is. And I'm sick and tired of all this bullshit. This corruption. It's all corrupt. I mean, it's so corrupt and racist how the system is. It doesn't matter what country you are, how poor you are. Each country is different. It's racism in all different ways. There's all types of different racism, tribal, different tribes have racism because they may be the same color, but they don't like that certain tribe, Racism. America is pretty much racist when it comes to that, It's like, if you look at most big, huge, I made a video one time, most big, huge business are owned by white people. The big mega businesses. Procter and Gamble, Look. I mean, shit. It's like everything is all authorized by them, and what you have to go through. The owner of these banks. Look at your owner of the banks, white people. I mean, big, huge, mega businesses. They need to be shut down, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm being honest. This is what I deal with all the time. It's like, I go through a lot of shit, I had bankruptcy. Like 10 years ago, I had bankruptcy, USAA credit card, I maxed it out. And guess what? Owned by whites. It's like, it's crazy how this country is run, how they treat your people, it's crazy how we live, how corrupt and negative. It's pure negative. The world we live in is not really that positive at all. It's so negative. Even the people are fucking negative, because they have to pay to make money. They have to work and pay. That's like creating your own misery. That's like creating your own hell, if you think about it. We that's why we create. It's like each job that we work for, we creating our own hell because we have to pay. And then when you die, when you die, it's not going to come with you. The money is not going to come with you when you die, you know? You'll come back to this again and start all over and live in this hell again. That's what you're going to do. And it's funny how these people say, "Oh, I done good. I done good because I worked my ass off. I worked my ass off and I done good." Because it's a good thing. That's a Christian way of thinking. Because they believe only one life, and they done good. But really, they're going to be back again, start all over in another body, And they're going to start and do the same thing. I done good. I done good because that's the right thing to do, It's funny is how you think, your mentality of thinking that that business, it's like business, corporations and government, they just fucking fuck with your fucking mind to believe this is how it works. The corporation, they're manipulators. They like to manipulate your fucking mind to believe that you have to work. And then the religion supports it, because you have to be a hard worker. A hard-working slave, that's what I call you, That's what I am, a hard-working slave. I slaved myself for 24 years driving a truck, making business people profit. I'm the one who's making them profit. They need me to drive their trucks for them, If you had more sense, if you don't have any sense and you believe that this is how it should be to make somebody else fucking rich, then you're a sick fuck. You have to be a sick fuck to believe in that shit, It's funny how this so-called culture, it's so fucking segregated, so separated, so it's so much individualism, and it doesn't fucking care, because when you look at the next person, you thinking, that person that's gonna be a bad person, You always have the paranoid thinking, because I noticed that with a lot of people, Even my parents raised me up that way, to believe that everybody is paranoid because of the way they look. Look at me, I'm transgender. I'm transgender, and I got these Christians who hate my guts because they always stereotype me. They always stereotype me to believe that in their fucking that I'm a fucking abomination to their fucking culture. It's funny how Christians are, how they stereotype you for their culture. It's like, yeah, they play this face game, They tell you, I like you, they give you the mask. Everybody has a mask. Everybody is always wearing a mask in this fucking world, and they're not honest. There's no such thing as honesty when you're an individual, because you have to make a living. You have to get as much out of that person that you can. You have to get as much out of that person as you can so you can live a nice life from that person. And basically, you need that person. You feed off that person, with the money. That's the way the world. I mean, that's how it works. These people, these people just love fear. They love the fear. They love people's misery. That's what corporations are for. Work hard. Be a good slave, We'll give you a raise and make you a good slave. We'll make you feel good because you got a good, like, $1 raise or a 50-cent raise. Me, it was like a 0.5-cent raise, They give you this feeling and saying, oh yeah, I love working these people. They take care of me. And then all of a sudden, once you get fucking old, we have to lay you off because you're too old and you're slowing down, Yeah. It shows you how fucked up this world is. There's nothing positive about it. A true positive world, right? A true positive world, you wouldn't have to go to work every fucking day, you know? You would take care of your family, you know? Your family would be first, but instead in this world, your work comes first, then your family, you know? Your family doesn't come first. And you're trying to make ends meet and trying to make, penny, you're living by the paycheck, you know? You live paycheck to paycheck. And you're trying to make ends meet, trying to take care of everything, you know? It's like it doesn't make any sense why you live like that. And you don't get a vacation. If you're poor and you're not making less than 20 grand, you're not even making less than 20 grand a year, you have to work for the rest of your life till you die, you know? You have to work for the rest of your fucking life and die, and you're gonna live miserable. I'm miserable doing my job. I'm miserable. I don't know, jobs, period. You think about jobs, jobs don't make you happy. Jobs make you miserable, Yeah, I like a job, but I wouldn't like I like a job that I like. Not what somebody else like. Well, I have no choice to like, I like a job what I like. Why would I want a job that I have no choice to do? I wouldn't call that positive either. I wouldn't call money positive because it's like you're forced into something that you don't want to be. You're forced into something that you want to be in, and it creates. It just makes you fucking. It just fucking makes me fucking sick that we think like this. The thoughts of what we think and how we have to make money to survive. The survival mentality of an idiot. People who believe in survival are fucking idiots. The mentality, because if you live in a system where everybody supports each other, then you wouldn't need to survive. You wouldn't need to survive if you live in a society like tribes. Tribes. I look at tribes are the best example of a support system where everybody is supported. But this society we live in, there's no such thing as support. They give you choices of how much you have to pay, like health care, like your health. You feel having choices to pay what you can't afford. It shows you how fucking wrong that is. How wrong is that where you make choices of if you can't afford to pay anything, and when you're like below 20,000 a year, if you can't afford to pay for anything, and you have a choice, then you have no choices. You have no fucking choices at all. It shows you, the system that we live in, you don't have no choices. Choices are just an illusion. That's the reality of it. And it's so negative, which I hate. I can't stand it. It's like it's crazy. Yeah. I live in a world of fucking fucked up people. People are. I don't like people and the way they believe that trust into these businesses and in these corporations. I don't trust. I can't trust those kind of people because they believe that they're free, but they're not. They live in their illusion of their so-called freedom, by supporting business and government, So it's like, yeah, I don't support those shit. I don't support it at all. So have a nice fucking day,